understand you do larger policy excesses within your building. Subsidence usually carries a £2,500 excess for the property owners, if not more. Again, make sure you've got the funds available to pay that. Ensure that you check the market. That's your broker's job. Make sure that they do. Most known insurers will do a property owner's policy. If your broker or how you are showed the policy via the management agents, via it yourselves or via a broker, make sure that they've gone to the market. The rule of thumb is that going to the market every year is counterproductive. An underwriter has a pile every day of quotes which he has to do. If he sees, he'll know them and he'll remember, and the ones he sees every single year, he'll think, I've seen this every year, I've seen this every year. What we would say is that every 3 years you go to market, you test the market against 2 or 3 insurers, against your insurer, to make sure you're paying the right amount. Moving around insurers ultimately could prove counterproductive. If you have a large claim and it's paid, and you've moved your insurance 5 times in the last 5 years, no one will want that insurance the year after, and your current insurers know that, and they can pick the price on the premium. They know you're going to move it anyway, so you've had a large loss, it's going to go way up. If you've built a bit of a relationship up with the insurer, you've run for 3 years, you've paid them the money, they've paid one claim out, then they're more likely, with the proper broker, they can have that conversation and say, well, you've made money for 2 years, this is a one-off loss, you'll continue to make money as long as we renew it. Moving and changing just means that no one will really be interested. It comes back to having the right broker and then having the right conversations with insurers. The insurance premium is the premium, it's rated on the cost of the building, but ultimately them rates can be changed, and with the right conversation with the right person, you can amend them. The price is the price, but there's always room for adjustment. Insurers usually work on about a 60 to 70% profit on the premium that you pay. So if you're paying 100,000, they don't want to see more than 70,000, £30,000 claims paid out. Over that is when they start moving it. It seems a lot. That's why insurance companies always make a lot of money. But it's something that it goes back to the broker. I think another point that I made is a bit further on is when you get your insurance as the management company, where's it come from? Because the management company, if you're using one, might be taking a cut. Their brokers might be taking a cut. So by the time it gets to you, 10% added on here, 10% added on there, the actual premium that you're paying probably isn't the premium that the insurers put on the policy. It's your right to know exactly what the management company would be earning and what the brokers are earning. So ask the question, if you've got a broker, how much do you earn out of the policy? A property owner's policy, a broker could earn up to 25 points on the policy. So if you've got a £10,000 policy, there's a possibility that the insurance brokers are earning £2,500. If the management company are appointing the brokers, the management company then pass it on to you, they might want 5 or 10% as well. So by the time it gets to you, you could be 30% over what the actual premium is. Brokers can take off their commission and charge you a fee. We do that a lot. How much do you think it's worth for us to work for you? It's £100,000 policy premium. Your brokers are earning £25,000, but what are they getting for that? It might be a case of taking the commission off and then charging a fee, which you know, okay, we're paying £7,000 for our brokers to provide this service, and this is what they do to us. If it's a management company who are doing it, you need to ask the management company what are they taking off, and then what the brokers are taking off, because the premium or the price you see for insurance might well be a lot different to the premium that the underwriter puts on the insurance.
Howard, do you wanted to make a
Just
comment?
a quick question with regards to commission on that. Our insurance is around about 25,000 a year. I've been doing some work with the Property Ombudsman Service to do a complaint about our management company, and in that they say that they have a duty to disclose any commission.
Yeah.
Which I've asked the question, please give me all details of insurances and any commissions as well, which are legally allowed to do so. Now they're not doing that, and they won't do that, so that's obviously going to be a thing. So typically, because we have no idea, this insurance is just carried out by the management company on behalf of us. We've got the details of the insurance or whatever. We don't see any money in regards to commission. So I was just wondering, out of that, how much is it likely that there's going in commission for?
It depends. The management company could be managing 100 properties, or you're saying all similar to yourselves, and then they do a block policy with a broker that covers all of them. Then you're talking hundreds of thousands, and then the commission will be split in that amount. If it was just simply your management agents were instructing a broker who were instructing the insurance company, if it's 25,000 the premium, the broker will probably be between 20 and 25 points commission on that. Once that gets to the management company, they will probably add their handling fee onto that, and then they pass it to you. So you will probably find that there's a commission for the broker needs to get paid for the job that they're doing. That might be too much for what they actually do. You never see what they do.
Are you entitled to find out what that is?
You're entitled to ask your broker. You'd be entitled to ask any monies that you pay to the management agent. You're entitled to ask the management agent the breakdown of that. You're paying the broker X amount. It would then be your duty to ask them, to ask the broker what's the commission rate on that. It may be the fact that it is on a fee and they only charge the management agent £5,000. The management agent could be managing 100 properties all similar, and they've got a cracking relationship with a broker, and the broker's earning 32.5 points off everything, because no one sees the actual figure further on, and then they add another 7.5, and all of a sudden 40% of the premium has gone between the broker and the management agents. And that, we know that happens because management agents, if they have to pass a piece of paper between one to another, then they'll charge a fee for it.
Okay, can I just pause you there and bring Ben in? RMQ and all that stuff?
Absolutely, that's absolutely where I was going to go. I think it's the benefit of using an agent who has an obligation to do things properly, is that if you ask them what they earn, they are supposed to tell you. I can understand the frustration and the difficulty if you're asking them a question and you're not getting an answer, and that's about making sure that you've got the right managing agent who either belongs to, he's regulated by the RICS or he's regulated by ARMA, whereby you have some form of redress. That you've asked them the question and they've not given you the answer, you can go to the RICS or you can go to ARMA and you can complain about them and force them to provide you with that information. If you're using a completely unregulated agent, then you're in a very difficult position. What I would also say is that general insurance is regulated by the Financial Conduct Authority, and a managing agent is deemed to be an insurance intermediary under the FCA rules, and therefore they should either be directly regulated by the Financial Conduct Authority themselves in the same way as Oval are or any other insurance broker is, or they should be an appointed representative of someone who is directly regulated, and in which case you have the FCA that you could potentially go to force that information out of them. Unfortunately, the FCA looks after an awful lot of financial things, from endowments and pensions and everything else, and insurance is a small part of what they do. And in my experience, it's not something they focus on heavily in terms of making sure that managing agents are indeed have the right status with them before handling insurance. And we come across lots of managing agents who aren't authorised, aren't appointed representatives, but still take a commission, and they shouldn't. It's an offence under the Financial Markets Act.
That's a very interesting point. Angela?
That's what, obviously you're the better person to answer this question. Managing agents taking a fee for handling an insurance claim on an individual basis, is that legitimate?
It very much depends on the terms of your management agreement, and I mean most managing agents, well, all managing agents will charge a management fee
Yeah.
for the work they do for you. And what is covered by that fee should be specified in the management agreement. And if handling insurance claims is part of that management fee, then they shouldn't charge you again.
Yeah.
However, handling of insurance claims is very often not part of that management fee, in which case managing agents aren't charities and it's perfectly reasonable they get paid for doing that work. And so there have been various cases before the Leasehold Valuation Tribunal, which is now the first tier tribunal, that says that it's perfectly acceptable for managing agents to take a commission on insurance, providing it is commensurate with the work done in return. So you're not supposed to make a profit on it, but you are allowed to get paid for the work you do on insurance. And generally, the LVTs have normally said that a commission of somewhere between sort of 10 to 15% is possibly reasonable for the work a managing agent does in terms of liaising with the broker, making sure that the policy is put out to the market. If you, as a leaseholder, want a copy of the insurance schedule and you want a copy of the insurance policy, then you've got a legal right to be provided with that. There's a cost associated with providing you with that. And then handling the claims, takes quite a lot of time from a managing agent's point of view. So it's reasonable that managing agents get paid for that work. Whether they get paid through earning a commission or whether they get paid through putting a handling fee on each claim is a matter of negotiation between you and your managing agent. What is the buzzword at the moment, and quite rightly so, is transparency. What you are absolutely entitled to is to know what is your managing agent earning out of the money you pay. And therefore, if they are taking a commission, you are entitled to know what that is. And not only if you ask should you get told, they should volunteer that information to you. They should be upfront about it and say, yes, we placed your insurance and we earn a commission of 10% out of it. And if they do that, then I don't think anyone's got any complaints. Where it's completely and utterly wrong is if they're trousering money that is coming out of your bank account and they're not telling you about it.
Okay, I want to try and move this on if we can. We'll have a round at the end.
Okay, health and safety responsibilities, risk from litigation and costs goes back to your directors and officers and what you're responsible for within the communal parts of the building. Making sure that the areas are clear of debris, anything that possibly could cause damage to someone is repaired. If it is noted, there's a process. There's a carpet tie loose, it's been noted this date, this is the process we take. Having written procedures for things like that helps when a claim comes in and they say, well, you're responsible because that carpet tie was loose, and you say, well, the carpet tie was reported loose this day. It was agreed that the handyman would do this within 3 hours, it was done, and here's the evidence to say it was done. Someone's to claim that they fell on that 2 days later. How can we be responsible? It's mitigating the loss. Obviously that comes back round to your directors and officers, and if you are found negligence, your directors and officers covers you for your costs. Insurance is just managing risk. Again, you will have cases where there's damage which needs repairing. It's making sure that it's done in the right way at timescales. Insurers just want to see what you're doing in relation to that. So it could be something, strangely enough, stuff like ice and frost in the car park, someone slips on it, was the warning signs up to say, you are responsible, please be aware that during cold conditions it can get slippy. Does someone come out and put salt down on the paths? If they do, is there a written procedure to when and why he does it? If you've done it one day because he's a friendly neighbour who lives down the bottom but didn't have no salt the next day and someone fell, it can be classed as your responsibility. Well, it wasn't gritted. Well, it was the day before. Well, he's just doing that off his own back. Well, you can't do that. You either do it or you don't do it, and there's a procedure in place. It just comes back to reducing your risk, how you do it.